the two distinctions that probably every Muslim should be very, very clear about. We don't talk enough about it all. And that is that we have two very different ways of looking at where we stand. Where I stand as a Muslim, as far as you're concerned, is that so long as I said salam to you, I'm considered not just a Muslim, but a believer. Don't say about somebody who even throws salam your way that you're not a believer. We owe each other what's called benefit of the doubt. Now let me give you an example. Think of it this way: you have a man, Muslim man, who has two sons. One of them very religious, observes his religion, stays away from the haram, good kid. And the other son, not quite, got a drinking problem, doing all kinds of bad stuff. Two sons of the same father, and that father passes away. Now it's time to distribute the inheritance. Should the better quality iman of one of his sons be considered a criteria by which he gets a little more in his share of inheritance and the bad kid gets less inheritance? As far as Allah's religion is concerned, he's Muslim and he's Muslim. And when their rights are being weighed, you don't weigh what's in their hearts. Because what's in their hearts and the weight of their deeds is going to be judged by who? By Allah. As far as the law of Islam is concerned, they're equal Muslims. And as far as we're concerned, unless he's doing that stuff out in public, then we don't consider one better than the other. The Messenger ﷺ would say that you cannot assume superiority of anyone over anyone else except by taqwa. And taqwa, he himself describes it. Taqwa is here. If it's here, that means you and I can see it. Nothing on the outside can tell you what is going on the inside. That only that person knows where they stand, and Allah knows where they stand, so we have to give benefit of the doubt. It's a fundamental teaching of Islam. You don't say the people that are more closer to Allah, the people with better iman first row, and then lesser iman second row. Let's make rows by beard sizes. We don't do that. So as long as you're Muslim, you're in the row. It doesn't matter what level of knowledge you have, what level of practice you have. It doesn't matter. We're all equal before Allah. But then there is going to be another kind of judgment of where do you actually stand. That cannot happen here. What will it happen? Judgment Day. There are people on Judgment Day who all their life they thought they were Muslim, they were fine, and they come before Allah on Judgment Day. A wall is dropped between them and the other believers, and they cry out, "Weren't we with you? We're the same." No, you were with us, but you procrastinated. You didn't act when you were told to act. You just put stuff off. You kept doubting yourselves, and you kept doubting whether this is the right thing to do or not. You were always reluctant. And you were always deluded by false hopes. False criteria of success kept distracting you. And finally, until the decision of Allah came and the devil got to you. So you're on the wrong side of that wall. You're not going to get saved. This is the reality of Iman in the sense what is before Allah. When the Quran talks about Iman, when the Quran talks about faith, much of the time, it's actually talking about how Allah will judge you. But not how Allah is giving you the right to judge anyone else. Really important to understand. Really, really important. How do we judge anyone else? What do we call them? Believer, Muslim, benefit of the doubt. They have taqwa, we don't know any better. But Allah Azza wa Jal will say to the believers, those of you who believe, believe. What? I would imagine Allah saying, those of you who disbelieve, believe. Nope, those of you who believed, believe. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, aminu. Why? Those of you who see each other as believers, who've assumed that they believe, who give each other benefit of the doubt that they believe, who consider themselves the believing community. Now it's time to actually bring that faith in reality into your hearts, that nobody else will see except Allah. That's the Iman, that's the faith that can be very high and it can be very low. That happens to you and me every day. This surah, when it says this is the minimal criteria of not being a failure, this is not the same as the minimal criteria by which Muslims judge each other. You don't get to look at someone and say, well, according to Surah Al-Asr, you's a loser. As far as someone else is concerned, Quran's already told you, you don't get to say about anybody who threw salam your way that they are nothing short of a believer. They're a believer. That's it. Benefit of the doubt. Not that we don't give advice to each other, but we can't pass judgment on one another. These judgments are for ourselves. That's a really critical, really important distinction that we have to make.